This is Paloma Lana. She is the founder and CEO of a slow fashion, sustainable clothing brand called Paloma Wool. But wait, why are so many fashion influencers trying Paloma Wool? Is it actually a sustainable brand? How did Paloma Wool pop off? I'm Beck Sketch and let's get into it. By the way, thanks to Simply S for suggesting this video. Comment an idea and I may feature you next.
Hey, what you talking about? There ain't nothing like the real thing. Oh.
On December 5th, 1989, Paloma Lana was born in San Sebastian, Spain, to Paloma Santolaya and Miguel Lana. Her parents were both involved in the fashion industry and had serendipitously met at a fashion trade fair in Barcelona and fallen in love. Paloma Lana grew up in Barcelona as her parents built their own clothing brand called Globe. They included her in every part of the process, working with suppliers, selecting textiles, and visiting fashion capitals like New York, China, Milan, and Tokyo. Globe was a hit in the 80s and competed with other Spanish brands like Mango, Desigual, and Zara at that time. However, although it had been initially successful, Globe eventually did not work out. In hindsight, her parents recognized that the failure was in part due to inefficient management. As Paloma put it, "When my parents established Globe, they didn't know how to manage a company. They were both very young and the business was a victim of its own success." Also, this happened in 1992 when there was an economic crisis in Barcelona. It was difficult to borrow money from banks, and because her parents could not finance Globe, it went bankrupt. Despite the setback and undeterred by the failure, her parents founded a new clothing brand called Nice Things in 1995. This is unsurprising as Paloma comes from a long line of fashion entrepreneurs. Her uncles run fashion brands, and her grandparents have owned several clothing shops in San Sebastian. Before Paloma left for college, she already knew that she wanted to study fashion design. She wanted to create a fashion brand of her own, following the footsteps of her family members before her. Due to her parents' traumatic experience with Globe, they encouraged her to study business instead. Bearing in mind their own shortfalls, they reasoned that business would be more applicable for Paloma since she already knew the fashion side from having already been involved in their family businesses. They wanted her to be equipped with knowledge on how to run a business successfully. So, in 2007, Paloma started attending ESADE Business School in Barcelona and graduated in 2012 with a degree in strategic fashion marketing. Sadly, in 2012, while Paloma was studying her last year at ESADE, her father passed away. His death prompted Paloma to work full-time at Nice Things. After graduating, she worked in different departments and settled in the role of marketing director in September of 2013, according to her LinkedIn. By April of 2014, Paloma launched Paloma Wool while working at Nice Things. And in 2018, she stepped down from her role at Nice Things to work fully on Paloma Wool. To understand her brand is to understand an extension of who Paloma is as a person, especially since if you translate her name Paloma Lana to English, it's Paloma Wool. From reading various interviews Paloma has given, she has made it clear that her brand is an amalgamation of her exploration in art and photography, using clothes as a medium, the same way artists would with paint or clay. As Paloma says in an interview with The Great Discontent, "I always felt that selling clothes was just an excuse for these artistic collaborations and experiments in photography, and fashion is the common thread that ties them together." This makes sense, considering Paloma Wool came about as a result of Paloma feeling creatively restless after university. She reignited her creative juices when she happened upon a vintage Yashica film camera at a flea market while she was living in Hong Kong for a few months. She took pictures through her travels in China and describes why she fell back in love with film photography in an interview with Freuden von Freuden, a German magazine. Paloma said, "Each time you take a picture, it's a moment that can no longer exist. You cannot edit it, it's unique, it's a risk, and therefore it becomes very special." All of this resulted in Paloma Wool's first collection, centering on photography. In an Inku interview, she said, "The first Paloma Wool pieces I created was a limited edition of sweatshirts with printed photographs of mine. We numbered each piece by hand and sent a copy of the photograph along with each piece purchased. It was not until I decided to detach the project from the fashion industry rules and regulations that I saw how the project was going to be clearly. I wanted to break the rules, follow my instinct, produce limited timeless pieces and art freely around the act of getting dressed." Because her brand is all about art, Paloma makes it a point on her website to showcase art collaborations she has done with other artists. She collaborates with artists to come up with fabric prints and marketing images for her collections. For instance, here's a collaboration Paloma did with Zaida Sabatis. Zaida is an artist who likes to take old art techniques and use it in a contemporary way. Paloma hopes this art collab inspires others to discover new ways to explore artisanal techniques as well. And here's a collab Paloma did with Digo Digital, a 3D digital art and animation studio. There's an animation of Paloma's best-selling Yin Yang sweater, a spinning card rack with photos of Paloma Wool stuff, and a giant Paloma Wool shoe in a park. There's also an avatar they created talking about Paloma's pop-up shop in New York.
Welcome, amigas, to our new New York pop-up concept store. Here you can browse, touch, and ask all you like. Enjoy!
I know I'm using an avatar too, but I thought this was a little bit scary. And lastly, Paloma did a collab with Digo Digital again, along with JP Bonino, a Uruguayan photographer based in Barcelona. The series of photographs centers around a story. The story is about 5 friends coming across a crop circle in a field. The mysterious sight transports them into different mystical dimensions as pictured. I have to say that a lot of this is very experimental and a bit like how one might feel if they entered a modern art museum. It's very abstract. But ultimately, here's my interpretation of all of this. I think the emphasis behind Paloma Wool is to view fashion the way we view art. In other words, slow fashion means there aren't trends, but what makes us feel and look good, just like how art does not expire. As Paloma Lana says, she wants her clothes to feel timeless and comfortable so that you continue to keep wearing it, not the throwaway culture that exists in the world of fast fashion. This, in turn, sparks the issues that Paloma has always found unappealing about the fashion industry. She explains in the Great Discontent article as such: "I don't believe in fashion seasons, autumn, winter, or spring, summer, and I didn't want to follow the calendar of the pret-a-porter industry, or to do wholesale. I do not believe in sales or things like Black Friday. I believe pieces have a value and that this value cannot be changed by time. I also didn't want to overproduce, as so many brands do. I wanted to do limited edition capsules where I could be sure I was going to sell everything I was producing. That's why many of the pieces we make are out of stock within the first month." Her belief in not encouraging customers to buy is the ultimate anti-fast fashion and the biggest support in sustainability. It's very rare to see fashion companies do that. Think of how Patagonia bought a full-page ad in the New York Times during Black Friday in 2011, when the sustainable movement wasn't that popular as it is today. Or how Levi's CEO Chip Bergh advised customers not to wash their jeans in 2014 in order to keep their jeans in mint condition and because it's better for the environment. It's impactful when leaders take a role in activism, even when it's the hardest road to take. Also, on the topic of sustainability, in 2018, Paloma stated that her team was entirely made up of women. It's nice to see a company that not only is founded by a woman, but also supports other women. To wrap all of this up, I think Paloma Wool's success largely attributes to their social media presence. They created simple but visually impactful pieces that work well on Instagram. The nude figure sweater and the yin-yang balance sweater and shoes keep selling out. It certainly helps when fashion influencers and even celebrities like Kaya Gerber wear their sweater on Instagram too. I'm sure we'll hear more about this brand in the future.
Thing that he gets to do, but he's in my shoes, and you know it's true. You can't take me on, babe. We can ease the tension. Anything you say, girl, I don't have to question. You can't take me on, babe. We can ease the tension. Anything you say, girl.
Hey, like and sub down below. It really helps me out. So thank you. Alright, catch you later. Bye!